actually. But I just wanted to get this over with, man. Been rocking with y'all all season long, and I appreciate everybody who's come through to support all season, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or wherever you might have been watching some of the videos, some of the recaps after the game. But this is the final recap of the 2023-2024 season for the Golden State Warriors. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe button. We do still have some goals for our subscribers. So yeah, we're trying to get to 500. That's our next benchmark. Once we make it, we are going to do a giveaway. So go ahead and subscribe. All you have to do to qualify for the giveaway is to be a subscriber. So go ahead and take that moment to do that. But let's get to the game, man. Warriors versus Kings last night in Sacramento. 10th seed Warriors, okay, against the 9th seed Kings. Don't really need to set it up for y'all. I'm sure all of y'all have already watched First Take and Undisputed and PTI, Pardon Interruption, and Shannon Sharp, heard from Stephen A. Smith, heard from Kendrick Perkins, you know, all of them dudes, all them analysts, all those professionals. But here's my take. My take is the Warriors were the 10th seed for a reason, okay? Golden State Warriors were the 10th seed for a reason, and they showed us why last night. We got 4 rings, yes, but we were the 10th seed this year. All right, up and down year, a year full of shortcomings, a year full of trials and tribulations, a year full of uncomfortability, okay? You get your coach that passed away in the middle of the season on a road trip at dinner, okay? Coach Decky, may he rest in peace. You get Draymond Green, who has a couple altercations, then gets suspended indefinitely, right? Gets suspended indefinitely, takes several weeks off from the NBA to get some counseling and whatnot, comes back, plays pretty well. He plays pretty well when he comes back, but there was just a something was missing this year. You know what I'm saying? Last year we tried to blame it on Jordan Poole, but something was missing. Warriors were not consistent at all. Warriors were barely 500 at home, which was so surprising. The Chase Center friendly was not friendly to the Warriors this year. That was a huge change from previous years. Warriors were a lot better on the road, which was pretty surprising as well. But Klay Thompson, one half of the Splash Brothers, came into a contract year and talks about whether he's going to remain with the Warriors at the beginning of the season since there's no contract. Klay seemingly kind of irritated by the talk at the beginning of the year. Comes out and he really struggles in the first half of the season. Klay Thompson, he struggles. His struggles go until Steve Kerr is kind of forced to bench him. When Klay gets benched, he plays so much better though, right? He plays so much better. And then he eventually plays his way back into the starting lineup, which leads us to last night, okay? Leads us to last night, man. Warriors have 3 Hall of Fame players. Steph Curry, I mean, one of the greatest point guards of all time, but the greatest shooter of all time. Klay Thompson, I mean, one half of the Splash Brothers. You could argue he's the second best shooter of all time. I mean, maybe you say Ray Allen, maybe you say Klay Thompson. Potato, tomato. That's how I say it. But something was off with Klay this year. something was really off with Clay. He was not consistent. And it's like all those things. Oh, and then let me get to Steve Kerr. Okay. Steve Kerr. I say Steve Kerr got off to a rough start this season too. Okay. You're looking at the two timelines that the team has. You got Steph Curry, you got Draymond Green, got Klay Thompson. They bring in Dario Saric. They have Kevon Looney on the roster. They got an Andrew Wiggins on the roster. But then you got this other timeline. You got these young guys that are chomping at the bit to get out there to show Steve Kerr that they can help contribute on this roster. You got a guy like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody. You got a guy like Brandon Prajinsky that comes in. You got Trace Jackson freaking Davis ready and willing to play these minutes. But Steve Kerr wouldn't play him at the beginning of the year. He wouldn't play him, okay? We just kept racking up losses, loss after loss, after loss, after loss, after loss, after loss, because he was trying to lean on his veterans, the guys that he can trust, the guys that have gotten him there, gotten him to the promised land. And I get it. Yeah, you got some guys that you have a lot of experience with, but those guys are getting old. Those guys are getting old, man. So that was a huge dynamic during this season. Is Steve Kerr going to play the young guys? How much is he going to play them? How much is he going to play the veteran guys? All that came to a microcosm in yesterday's game versus the Kings, okay? You got Klay Thompson in the starting lineup. You got Andrew Wiggins in the starting lineup. You did have Trace Jackson Davis in the starting lineup because Warriors have been playing so much better defensively with the combination of Trace Jackson Davis and Draymond Green at the 4 and the 5. You thought that TJD would make a difference, but they start out Trace Jackson Davis on Harrison Barnes, and they put Klay Thompson on Keegan Murray, and then Draymond Green guards Sabonis. Now, if you're asking me, if I was a coach, what would I have done? I would have put TJD on Sabonis. I would have put maybe Curry on Keegan Murray, okay? Because he's going to run around screens, okay? He's not really going to look to post Curry up. I keep Wiggins on Fox. I put Draymond on Barnes because we can cheat off of Barnes, okay? And then who's the other guy left? I put Klay on Ellis, on Keon Ellis, right? That's how I would have had my matchups going. But Steve Kerr starts Klay on Keegan Murray at the beginning of the game. And from the first tip, Keegan Murray's getting wide open shots. Keegan Murray's getting wide open shots all through the first quarter. And to be honest with you, I didn't even realize Klay was guarding him because he was open the whole time. Steve Kerr didn't seem to make many adjustments last night after the quick start by Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray ends up with 32 points, a career high in the playoffs. And honestly, the rest is history. I believe Steve Kerr got outcoached last night, much like he's been outcoached all season long. Steve Kerr struggled to make adjustments in game when the game is seeming to get away from the Warriors. Steve Kerr seemingly has no answers but to just go back to his veteran guys. That's his answer. That's been his answer all these years. He did insert, some energy with Moses Moody after the Kings got up 15, 16 points in the first half. And then the Warriors stormed back whittled the lead down to 4 points, but then he goes right back to his veterans. The only thing he does is take Trace Jackson Davis out and start Kuminga in the second half. But honestly, Klay Thompson was cold as ice yesterday, man. He should have started the second half on the bench. Moses Moody should have been inserted in that starting lineup, and maybe, just maybe, the Warriors could have pulled that game off. But it is what it is at this point. I'm not going to bash Klay Thompson because, like I said, Steve Kerr has been saying he's going to be loyal to his guys, and sometimes you can be loyal to a fault. And I think Steve Kerr has to take a lot of the blame for this season. He has to take a lot of the blame for what happened this season. He was too stubborn. He was unwilling to change. He was unwilling to play the younger guys that could have given this team a better opportunity to win. If Steve Kerr swallows his pride, plays Jonathan Kuminga more minutes earlier on in the year, if he plays Trace Jackson Davis more minutes early on in the year, if he plays Moody more minutes early on in the year, if he doesn't give Moody those DMPs, did not play. I mean, Moses Moody had quite a few did not plays, quite a few DMPs this season for no apparent reason other than there wasn't enough room in the rotation for him because Kerr wanted to stick to the veteran guys. And quite frankly, the veteran guys that weren't playing that well, other than Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, he wasn't playing that well, other than the last month and a half, two months of the season. Before that, he was hot garbage. Klay Thompson, he played so bad that Steve Kerr had to bench him. He played so bad in the season, Steve Kerr had to bench him. Could have done that earlier. Warriors could have racked up some more wins. So yeah, I think Steve Kerr has a lot of soul searching to do. You could hear in his press conference after the game, he even said he needs to reevaluate. He needs to reevaluate the way he coaches the game. He just needs to go back, and for one, he needs to help his secondary players get better shots, and I agree with that. Can't just rely on one-on-one or pick and roll if it's not a Steph 3, Klay 3, or a Jonathan Kuminga drive to the basket. That's pretty much been our offense. Or CP3 pick and roll. That was the offense this year. CP3 pick and roll, Kuminga clear out, post up or isolation on the baseline or at the elbow. Steph Curry isolation, Klay Thompson coming off the screen. Klay Thompson and Steph running a split action. That was our offense. It's not making anybody else better out there. Draymond Green took a step forward offensively this year, which was nice to see. He shot the ball well, considering his history recently shooting the ball. That was one huge plus for this season. Shout out to Draymond for doing that, but yeah, he got some other things he has to work on for sure. I think Andrew Wiggins might be out the door. Okay. He's a guy that's taken time off these last few seasons. He's had personal issues. I don't know exactly what his personal issues are, but it's clearly whatever's going on is hampering or hindering his performance on the court. He's a guy you just can't rely on now. 2021 season, 2021-22, he was fantastic, bro. It was like a godsend to get Andrew Wiggins for D'Lo in that trade, and to get 2 picks that turned into Kuminga and Moody. It was like the steal of the decade for the Warriors. But Andrew Wiggins, I believe his time is done. His time is done, man. Joe Lacob and company are paying too much money. Too much money, man, for this Warriors team to be a 10th seed. So I think Wiggins is gone. I do think Clay will stay, but I think his deal will be much more team friendly than originally thought. I mean, maybe somewhere under 10 million a year, maybe 7 or 8 million a year for a couple years. I think Steph has 2 more years on his deal, and then I could see Steph, Dre, and Clay riding out into the sunset together, all at the same time, retirement in 2 years. I can see it. That's why I anticipate. But as far as anyone else, Dario Saric, I think he's gone. Gary Payton II, that's an interesting one. I love me some GP2. But my brother's always injured. Always seemingly injured. Some of them freak incidents, you know, but your best ability is your availability. And my man is always on the IR. He's always on the injury report. So I could see a scenario where Gary Payton II doesn't come back. I could see a scenario where Chris Paul doesn't come back. It was a trial run, a rental of sorts. The Warriors are mostly looking to get off that Jordan Poole money that they signed him to, and CP3 just happened to be there. But I think that the CP3 experiment with the Warriors is over. I don't think he did a bad job by any means. I think he was solid, but I do think the Warriors need to get bigger, stronger, and faster. And then there's just no room for CP3 past his prime on this version of the Warriors. Maybe you put him on a version of the Warriors when Steph, Clay, and Dre are in their prime, and he's kind of slowed down, and it fits and it works, but not with Clay declining, Draymond declining, and then, you know, Steph just kind of needing more offensive support and not getting that. Because at this point, Chris Paul really doesn't do anything for you offensively other than his assist game, right? Maybe he limits turnovers, but he doesn't give you points offensively. And that's what the Warriors need, man, right now. Just too much of the offensive burden is on Stephen Curry. Jonathan Kuminga definitely took a step forward this year. I love the growth that we saw from him. I was worried about that his first 2 years, but we definitely saw some growth from Kuminga, so I expect him back. I do expect Kerr back, but I expect them to bring in another former head coach who is good with game management, game flow, rotations. Maybe give him some fresh new ideas offensively, because I think the Warriors, you know, they just kind of run their system into the ground, the split action, the motion. You know, the teams are on it. They're on it. You know, it's like we haven't been changing nothing. We've been rocking with the same game plan for a minute. It's time to switch something up. It's time to, if you don't switch it all the way up, you know, throw in some wrinkles, add something to the game plan. And if you don't want to take out the other stuff, add some more pieces to it. But yeah, congrats to the Kings, man. The Kings, they definitely did their thing, brother. Malik Monk, no Herter. Like I said, Keegan Murray killed us in that first quarter. He got comfortable, hit 3 threes in less than the first 2 minutes of the game, and you know, it was on for Keegan Murray the rest of the game. I just hope that the Warriors fans will be realistic, not fall out and act like this was a horrible loss, because it wasn't a horrible loss. It was a bad team. The Warriors, we were a bad team all year. We were a bad team all year. We got the 10th seed. Yes, we won 40 plus games, but we were a team that was up and down all year. We had a lot of bad losses. A lot of games that we should have won, we lost. Gave up double-digit leads in the fourth quarter. Gave up double-digit leads that we had at halftime. Lost a game where we were up by 26, I believe, to the Clippers, and then another one where we were up 24 or 20 plus to the Kings. In-season play-in tournament, in-season tournament game. We smoked a lot of leads, man. We smoked a lot of leads, and we got nobody to blame but ourselves. So we got to get right. Everybody needs to do some self inspection, searching, do some soul searching from the top down. Steve Kerr, you know, if you need help, solicit some help from some other coaches out there that can help your game plan, because it's looking a little stale right now. General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. solicit some help. I'm sure he has conversations with Bob Myers. I'm sure he does. Bob Myers, longtime GM of the Warriors. Yeah, we need to get some more talent in here, man. We need to get some more talent in here. We need to get more athletic. We need to get stronger, and we need to get longer. Okay. We need to get longer, stronger, athletic, bigger, faster. So that's what I got, man. That's my summary for the Warriors. Steve Kerr, get your act together. Andrew Wiggins, pack your bags. I think CP3, pack your bags too. I'm not sure about this, but GP2, you might be packing your bags too, my brother. Dario Saric, you already know. You didn't play the last 30 games of the season, so yeah, pack your bags too, brother. Klay Thompson, I'm thinking he's coming back, though. I'm thinking he's coming back. I think any competitor, when he's reached the pinnacle of success, NBA championship, multiple times, I think he wants to go out on top. And I'm not saying on top like winning a ring. I'm saying on top meaning just playing his best basketball, you know? Playing his best basketball. The contract situation, I think, was a distraction for him this season, because he just wasn't right, just wasn't the same. And maybe you fault Klay, maybe you fault the Warriors front office for not getting that deal done before the season starts, but whoever's fault it is, you know, the reality was that, yeah, Klay was the worst version of himself this season that I think we've ever seen. So for those of you that have been rocking with Klay like I have for a minute, you know, it's sad to see. It's sad to see. But I would like to have him back. You know, come off the bench, give us some great shooting. You know, give us some things to cheer about while we watch you ride into the sunset. Just your boy, Let's Pray. Hope you're having a blessed and a prosperous day, man. Warrior season is over. Warrior season is done. Lost to the Kings last night. 20-point loss, man. Let's see what we do. Let's see what we do in the draft. Let's see what we do in free agency. Don't be surprised if Joe Lacob doesn't sit back, stay pat, man. Don't be surprised if, you know, he doesn't bring a big name in here, because he's very competitive. Like I said, he got a lot of money devoted to this roster. Okay, the payroll is ginormous. He's in the luxury tax. He's competitive. He wants to win. All right. I think for every dollar that's spent, it's like, once you get into the repeater luxury tax, it's like ×7 for the penalty that you get. So, I mean, he ain't paying them penalties for nothing to be bounced out of the playoffs in the first round of the play-in. He ain't paying that luxury tax for nothing. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to say no names, but don't be surprised if they make a big move. There's some disgruntled stars out there on other teams. Some guys that aren't happy. Don't be surprised, man. If the Warriors snatch one of them dudes up in the offseason, you might see a whole new roster next year. That's all I'm going to say. But, yeah, thank y'all for rocking with me. Appreciate you. So, well, let's pray. Hope you're having a blessed and prosperous day. Tell those that you love them while you can. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, almost 26 minutes later, I appreciate you. You could have been doing anything else, but you decided to come. Holla at your boy. Much love to you. Go Dubs, man. I'm rocking Dubs, you know, win or lose, man. Dubs were so bad for so long. It's nothing for me to watch them take a L. But I just want to see play the game the right way. You know, I just want to see him play the game the right way. That's all. I want to see him play the game the right way. If we lose, we lose, but just play the right way. You know, if we don't have the talent, we just don't have the talent. But let's play the right way. We got, you know, those fans that have stuck around for, you know, the decade or however long you've been a fan. If you were a fan before the Warriors started winning, or if you know, jumped on the bandwagon when they started winning, regardless, you know, I'm all about us playing the game the right way. So that's what I like to see. It's entertaining for me to watch my team, hometown team, you know, play well, have so much success over these last 12, 13 years. It's been an amazing run to watch the Warriors do what they do after watching them be so bad for so long. So, yeah, I love the Warriors, man, for that reason alone. They were so bad for so long, but they've been so good lately. So, yeah, man, shout out to all the OG Warrior fans. Shout out to the new fans too, but if you out there just complaining and stuff and you ain't really been on this journey like the OG Warrior fans, you really don't understand, man. You really don't understand. Taking an L is nothing for an OG Warrior fan, man. Taking an L is nothing. We used to those. We used to those, man. So yeah, let me get up out of here, man. My time's almost up for lunchtime. Be blessed, y'all. I'll be back with some, maybe some NBA draft previews for the Warriors. So yeah, take some time off, man, and just enjoy the playoffs. I don't have to watch it and worry about what the Warriors are doing now. So I can watch it objectively, non-biased. I can just enjoy the game for what it is. All right, peace, y'all. I'm out.